Made
We're
easy.
good.
You got it. You're
I got
doing
it.
well. You're doing well.
That's a mouthful. What is up, people? Steve Craven with Applying Pressure Podcast. I got my friend that I happen to meet here at the conference, Kayla Madeira. That is a mouthful of a name. What is your background?
Portuguese from Portugal.
Portuguese. I love it. So, what brings you to the conference? And let me ask you one question before we answer that.
Okay.
Why does people need to know who you are?
Why do people need to know who I am? You caught me off guard. I think people need to know who I am because I like telling stories.
That's it.
I'm a digital nomad.
Yep.
I've got some interesting stories, especially as a woman. It can be really difficult to take the step and go travel on your own or pursue a life outside of maybe Toronto and kind of a 9-to-5 and just feel like you can take the opportunity to go explore before you come back.
Absolutely. And I love that. So we had the chance to kind of catch up a little bit before we, really got onto the podcast side of it. And you kind of said you're a little bit of a free spirit, right?
Yes, very much.
So you've kind of traveled around a little bit. Let's talk about a few places you've been.
So most recently, I just came back from New Zealand. I was in Thailand for a month. I went to Laos as well.
Okay.
And then I did a personal retreat for a week in Sri Lanka.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was your overall goals with these trips, or was it just kind of freelancing, or what was you doing?
So if you want a little bit of a background story, I had a boyfriend of 5 years, and we have actually just become exes about 3 months ago. And when we first met, we actually had lockdown in Bali in March 2020, which was the pandemic.
Yes.
So we moved in together after 2 weeks, lived together for 6 months.
Wow.
So it's kind of been quite the whirlwind since then, because after that, everything went remote. And so we could pursue our relationship. We both worked remotely, so we got together and we started traveling and working together.
Yep.
And at the time, I was doing a lot of freelance work, a lot of communications, marketing, content creation, photography, sort of all, jack of all trades, master of none, getting a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And then we've gone our separate ways, and I've just been traveling. I did a solo trip, so 2.5 months was me on my own, getting out and finding out who I am again outside of a relationship.
Absolutely.
And back to Toronto because I realized I want to be back here and build my network and get to see my friends again.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So is your family here?
Yes, so my family is here. My brother, my mom, and my dad, and my cat, my other cat. Yeah.
So now you were born and raised.
Yes, born and raised.
Okay, got you. But your family is from Portugal.
Yes.
They moved here. Your mom and dad moved here.
My mom and dad. I go back actually to visit my grandparents, aunts, uncles, and I speak Portuguese as well.
Oh, nice. So now, do you speak French as well?
No, unfortunately I don't. I wish. Do you?
No.
Any other second language?
No, I do good to speak English. I mean, let's be realistic. I have a country accent out of this world. I am from Kentucky,
Yeah.
I definitely do not speak anything other than English.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your background.
Yeah.
Like, where did you get your start on this side of it, or where did you get your start on the, on the freelance side of things?
On the freelance side, so it has been kind of a journey. Initially, I was going to go to school to be a vet, and I got accepted to the program, and I had a teacher, if anyone else has ever had this happen to him, that told me straight up that if I were to go into vet school, I would do terrible, I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't good enough, and when you're young and impressionable, you take that very much to heart.
Absolutely.
And at the time I got into a new relationship, and just everything sort of aligned for me to feel like, okay, I'm not going to vet school, I'm not going to this program, and I ended up going to journalism.
Yep.
I had actually not accepted any offer, and they were the only university to have kept my offer available.
Sure.
So I thought, this is a sign, can I go there? And so from that point on, I was in communications, journalism. I was abroad. I needed to get out of the Canadian winters.
Right.
So that's when I went to Bali,
Yep.
February 2020. And when the pandemic happened, everything went remote. And so from that point on, all of my work was remote. So I was getting remote work as an editor. I was working for a travel safety app. I was doing communications for different branding agencies, and it kind of almost fell into it in a way, right?
Sure.
It was a very unexpected path.
Yep.
And then at one point, you're picking up a lot of different contracts and you start pursuing your own skills on the side.
Yeah.
And so that's how I got into drone work, UGC, 360 virtual tours. And now that I'm back in Toronto, I really want to focus on that and build my network. And when you move around a lot, it's absolutely amazing with the people you meet, but it's very difficult to be very disciplined.
It's hard to be structured too, right?
Very difficult.
Hard for people to really build a brand and or confining you when they're not knowing if you're really going to be there or not. And what people want more than anything is that structure, right?
Yeah.
And so, that is hard on the other side of, trying to build what you are. It's funny, you were talking about, your teacher that told you, you're probably not going to
Yeah,
make it.
yeah.
So I had a very similar story.
Okay.
When I first I was a terrible kid in high school. I mean,
Were
terrible.
you a troublemaker?
Yes. Oh my gosh. But I was a professional excuse maker.
Okay.
I was a pro at making excuses. It was
Yeah.
always everybody else's fault, and the list goes on.
Okay.
I was just very good at
yeah.
it. So we fast forward a little bit, and I dropped out of high school at a very young age,
Okay.
and I decided, you know what? I was a product of my environment, right?
Yeah, okay.
Everybody else in my neighborhood dropped out. I was in a not so well-to-do neighborhood
Okay.
at all. My family was the most amazing people,
Aw.
but we were not well-to-do by means.
Yeah.
But my grandmother raised me.
Yeah.
My grandmother's my world,
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards. I put her and my mom and all of them on a pedestal.
Yeah.
I was raised by, majority women, and I pushed that side of it. I love it. So on the other side of it, I had a teacher that told me when I went back to school, he said, you're going to end up the garbage man if you keep going this direction.
Okay.
But he always affiliated the garbage man of being such a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
So in the back of my mind, I'm like, dude, I don't want to be the garbage man. Like, I have no interest.
Yeah.
And it kept in the back of my mind is that, but I kept staying in the product of my environment at the time.
Yeah.
So we fast forward, I get out of high school, I go to college,
Yeah.
flunk out of college one time, I go back to college again and I finish.
Good on you, by the way, to keep going back. Because a lot of people would flunk and give up.
Well, and being transparent, college is not the answer, in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm not a pro-college guy, but I happen to have a double master's degree.
Okay.
But we fast forward, and I got through college, and once I got out of school, I got the job that I was looking for, and it was business development. I love the way business works.
Yeah.
And so I started speaking on stages. I started doing podcasts. This is 15 years ago. And I said, you know what? I want to give back to the school that I went to school at.
Yeah.
I want to give back to the kids because they're all troubled. Every one of them are troubled. They're just like me.
Yeah.
And so I went back to the school and I spoke. I got to speak on stage at a school that I got kicked out of, which is unheard of. And so I got to empower these junior and seniors and teach them that there's a different way of life, right?
Yeah.
And so what I did was I got to speak on stage and I brought up the analogy of the garbage man.
Okay.
I said, you don't ever want to be the garbage man. Well, the teacher that told me that just happened to be on stage with me. And so I said, how many of you guys know Mr. Watkins? And they were like, oh, they put their hand up. I said, how many of you guys heard the analogy of don't be the garbage man? And they all started laughing, so I knew that he was still using this.
Yeah.
So I got to break down the analogy, and what it broke down to was like, you go to school for 4 years, you make no money to be a teacher. It's starting off at 40,000 US.
Yeah.
You have no benefits. You got to invest in your own benefits.
Okay.
Or you could be the garbage man that starts off at $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
You get full benefits, the whole 9 yards, and you get retirement in 20 years instead of 25 years.
Okay.
So when it all broke down, I was able to show the kids that, hey, the garbage man ain't so bad after all because he's actually $500,000 ahead of your teacher.
Oh my goodness.
They kicked me out of the building again. They told me don't come back again.
Oh my goodness. What a 360 moment though. You got to go back and share your story.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
But so they never allowed me to come back after that again. No problem.
That's okay.
I appreciate
You did what
it.
you had to do.
But I got to stay in touch with a couple of those kids.
Yeah.
And I really got to make an impression on their lives and show them that you don't have to be a product of your environment where you grew up. You have to be a product of your environment where you're at now. And even in your situation, you went through some hardships with your relationships.
Yeah.
That's your old environment, though.
Yeah.
You're a product of your new environment, like all of this.
Yeah.
The old environment doesn't count anymore.
No, it doesn't.
And you can't look at that because when you drive a car, right? You drive?
Yeah.
Okay, so your windshield is so much bigger than your rearview mirror. You don't watch the rearview mirror when you drive. You watch the windshield. That's because you keep going forward. You're not going backwards. We're not looking behind
You look back
us.
just to make sure you're staying in the lines.
And we might be looking back to make sure they're not coming with me. I'm still going, right? So, moving forward, you had the opportunity to come here with your family. Your dad is blue collar side, right?
Yeah. He's a heavy machinery mechanic. He's always been into, cars and fixing cars from the stories I hear from my grandparents. Always from a young age. Didn't finish school, was just always at home. His mates would come over.
Yep.
And so from what I know about him, that's kind of what he's always done. So when he came to Toronto, he continued to do that. And then at one point, I'm not sure of the reason, but he decided to own his own business. And so he started with his own mechanic shop, and he's been doing that for over 20 years now.
Man.
The kids grew up with the shop. We saw what it was to be an entrepreneur in that space. My mom ends up working there now doing the paperwork.
I love it.
Because of the accounting that had gone wrong.
Oh, yeah.
My brother's in there now, and I dabble a bit. I'm the black sheep.
She's
I
all
bring
over
them
the
back.
place, right?
I send them photos. They're like, but
Yeah, that's awesome though.
That's
That's
good,
amazing.
yeah.
I'm on the blue collar side as well. So I own a couple car dealerships.
Okay.
And then I have a mechanic shop as well. So me and your
Yeah.
dad got a lot in common on that
yeah,
side.
yeah, yeah. Cars?
Yep,
Or okay,
cars.
he's heavy machinery.
Yeah. Well, same-
I mean, if you're gonna build
very
anything
similar.
new and you need a tractor, not a
Yeah.
tractor, sorry, an excavator, or a
Excavators and
forklift or something, let me know.
Bobcats. Hey, I got you. I'm gonna come look him up.
Perfect.
So listen, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.
I want you to look in that camera and I want you to tell yourself something at 15 years old. Maybe it's a piece of advice that you didn't want to give up on. Maybe it's something that you've learned just over your time. You've had a ton of information thrown at you over the years.
Yeah.
Ton of life lessons. We're not going to say there was no trials and tribulations. These are all lessons, right?
Yeah.
So I want you to talk to yourself at 15, and if you had some advice today
Yeah.
that you could give yourself at 15, what would it be?
Talking to my little self.
Yeah.
Aw. I just want to say there's a very big emotional aspect. Like, you are loved, you are perfectly capable. Pursue any of the opportunities you want to explore. You're going to be afraid, you're going to have a lot of shame around it, be a bit embarrassed, and that's okay. But I think the biggest thing as well is just know that no matter what other people think, you're going to eventually come into yourself and be so happy with yourself, and you're going to meet the people that make you feel so energized and love how loud you are and love how much you dance, and they're going to be so excited, but you can't meet them unless you start actively living that way. So just start breaking out of your shell a bit, and be loud. Don't let people try to make you small or make you feel like you can't take up space, because you can.
And remember, Kayla, you are perfect the way you are.
Thank you.
Don't listen to no one else. You're perfect the way you are.
Thank you.
If
You as
people
well.
wanted to find you on
Yeah.
social medias, where would they find you at?
They would find me on Ola, it's Kayla, so OLAITSKAYLA. And a lot of my content right now is geared towards women, about solo traveling, relationships, so what a healthy relationship versus unhealthy relationship looks like, inspiring you to go out and do those things. I'm going to start switching my content to be more about finding joyful moments in each day to day.
Yes.
You don't have to do a big trip to feel like you're doing something new. You can
Absolutely.
really lean into your relationship.
And it's important, how much have you gained by doing something for yourself and on your
Yeah.
own, right? Traveling by yourself, I mean,
Yes.
that's huge.
It's so good. You don't have to compromise on anything. You really feel like, what do I want to do? And if you meet people you really vibe with, you hang out with them and you pursue that,
I love that. Well, listen, it has been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Like
Thank
to meet you as well. Thanks so much for stopping me.
Absolutely. We're going to have you do the 3 questions again.
Yep.
Name the 3 things that you liked most about our interview.
Yeah.
That'll be good for your B-roll. So
Sorry?
That'll be good for your posting of any of your content you post.
Yeah.
This will be good for that.
Yeah.
So this is attention getting for people when they follow you, or new people to follow you,
Yeah.
or just your friends and family. They
Yeah.
get to see what you're doing, and it's just nice to have it.
Okay.